ago, I can still recall how amino acids began it all. And I knew if translation ran, that polypeptide chain could be something grand, and why it would work for a while. The chemical bonding made it quiver with every covalent bond that is delivered. As amino acids joined to make a chain, those chemical properties were crucial and bane. And I can't remember if I cried when I read about the shapeless size, but something touched me deep inside the day the protein formed. So we're singing, this is the rise of the protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it folded that way, why it folded that way. Now do you believe in hydrogen bonds, and that the protein shape depends on them? Now do you believe in backbone formation? Can the bonds really cause this transformation? And can you teach me how this works? Yes, just listen to these words, 'cause I saw you with all your folds and loops, the alpha and beta helices and groups. Man, I dig those amino acid loops. They give the chain a folded structure. It really is an object of awe and wonder. But I knew it would be an important day when folded that way. So we're singing, this is the rise of a protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it folded that way, why it folded that way. Now the protein stood on its own, and it's time for the R groups to bond, even though that's not how it used to be. Back when it was just amino acid piece, in hydrophobic interaction, and ionic and hydrogen bonds, a 2D structure turned to 3. This is where the protein finds its true decree. No other protein had come this far, and while it wasn't quite up to par, it had gone further than any before. And they sang its praises near and far, the day it found its function. So we're singing, this is the rise of the protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it folded that way, why it folded that way. The protein had complexes, yes indeed. It had all the forces it could need. 8 amino acid chains it had at last. It had become quite bold and brash, as the protein became what it was meant to be, with the other proteins left in misery, as they saw who it used to be. But now the protein was too powerful, we all gave up our chance. As the virus protein started to dance, the others weren't as powerful. As the virus, it was on a roll. The others couldn't pay the toll. The day the kingdom cried. Singing, this is the rise of the protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it folded that way, why it folded that way. But the other proteins came together, and soon the virus no more, with time left to start again. Heat, pH, and force acted quick. Denaturation seemed like a trick, and the virus protein couldn't get sick. Oh, as I watched it fall to the grave, the proteins acted brave. No virus ever formed well could break the denaturing spell. The ionic bonds broke through the night. The other proteins laughed with delight. The day the protein denatured. This is the rise of the protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it denatured that way, why it denatured that way. So to recap this long tune about how the protein formed and denatured so soon. Protein folding is a four-step process that starts with the amino acids and bonding. Next comes the secondary structure, full of alpha helices and other wonders. Most important is the tertiary. R groups in 3D structure comprise the optional but important to the story is of course the quaternary. When those peptide chains bond, it is oh so scary. The amino acid bonds and the peptide chains all contributed to this protein's fame. The day the protein formed. So we're singing, this is the rise of the protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it folded that way, why it folded that way. So we're singing, this is the rise of the protein chain, from a primary line to a folded domain. And good old forces try to explain why it folded that way.